What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. The Interest Kings are back at it again. The Boston Red Sox have pretty much earned that title on social media as the Interest Kings because they seem to be linked to just about every single free agent almost every single year. And while some people may find this annoying, and personally I do a little bit, I also really like it. One, because it means that the Red Sox are looking at every single possible person for this Red Sox team. They're assessing every single situation, trying to figure out which one is the best for this Red Sox team, maybe deal wise, maybe potential wise, maybe player wise. There are a lot of different options out there. It's a good thing that the Red Sox are looking at all of them. But two, because it gives Red Sox fans something to talk about, especially in a year like the 2023 off-season where the free agent class is extremely top heavy, meaning that after you get through maybe the first 10 top free agents, it really starts to taper off. So there may be some dull moments mixed in here, and the Red Sox being connected to so many people gives us something really interesting to talk about and makes us look at this offseason from different perspectives. And that's exactly what happened this week, because another rumor mill popped up about the Red Sox and their interest in Mitch Haniger. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what started this rumor, how it began, what it could possibly mean, and we're going to go in depth as to why Mitch Haniger may make sense for this Red Sox team. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It helps it out a ton and would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. We've actually talked a lot on this channel about bringing Mitch Haniger to the Red Sox, and as much as I'd love to say we were the ones who started the Mitch to the Red Sox campaign, we were not. Yesterday, John Morrissey tweeted out that the Red Sox and the Rangers are the highest suitors right now for Mitch Haniger at the beginning stages of free agency. Now, normally I'm not super high on, especially outside reporters, talking about Red Sox potential free agents, mostly because the Red Sox have been really good about keeping who they actually want on this Red Sox team very close to the chest. There aren't a ton of leaks about who the Red Sox have been legitimately targeting, and so I take a lot of these with a grain of salt. But for this one, I actually think it may be true, or at least I hope so, because Mitch Haniger would be a fantastic addition to this team. Let's take a look at why Mitch Haniger would be such a good addition. I always like to start off when looking at potential free agents with how well they'd fit in with the culture that is Boston, that is the Boston media, that is the city, that is the pressure that comes with the city, because there are a lot of guys out there who perform really well but can't entirely handle Boston everything because it's an entirely different beast. Now, in the case of Mitch Haniger, Haniger spent most of his career in 6 years with Seattle Mariners, and while their media isn't exactly insane, their fan base is pretty passionate, and there was a lot of pressure on the Mariners, especially the last couple of years, to perform really well and make the playoffs. The Mariners had not made the playoffs before this year in a very long time, and so when the team actually got good in 2021, there was a lot of pressure by the fan base, by the media, by the national coverage for them to make it into the postseason. Now, they didn't do it, but that pressure, to me, and the fact that Mitch Haniger performed really well, that we're going to get into in a second, to me shows that he is able to kind of block out that pressure. And while different than the Boston culture pressure, I think Mitch Haniger would be able to handle Boston just fine. As for Mitch Haniger's statistics, he was injured for a bit in 2022, and he only ended up playing a total of 57 games. In those 57 games, he was pretty productive. He hit 246 with a 736 OPS. He had a 114 OPS plus, about 14% more productive at the plate than the average player in baseball. He also had 11 home runs and 34 RBIs. Now, again, this was a shortened season because of his injuries, and the last full season Mitch Haniger played, he was incredible for the Seattle Mariners. In 2021, his last full season, he went off. He finished with some MVP votes due to a 253 average, an 804 OPS, and a 122 OPS plus. He was 22% more productive than the average player in baseball at the plate in 2021. He also had 39 home runs and 100 RBIs. Needless to say that when Mitch Haniger is healthy, he is a long ball threat. His potential to always be able to hit a home run is probably one of the biggest reasons why I like Mitch Haniger. the Red Sox going into 2023 have a pretty big power gap. Yes, JD had a low year last year, but in total over the last 4 or 5 years JD's been on this team, he's been a power threat, and losing him this offseason means that you're going to have that power gap. Mitch Haniger brings that ability to go yard. When healthy, he can hit close to 40 home runs, probably going to be a guy who, if plays a full season, is going to average at least over 25 home runs, and that's something that the Red Sox could use desperately, because it wasn't just JD in 2022 that lacked power, it was really the entire Red Sox team. So bringing a guy in like Mitch Haniger, who does have the ability to be a DH and bring you that home run power, is really important in my opinion. Another reason why I really like the idea of Mitch Haniger to the Boston Red Sox is because of the versatility at DH that we talk about so much. It started when Alex Cora talked about at the end of the season that he would love to see the Red Sox have a more versatile DH option and be able to kind of move that position around where he sees fit. And Mitch Haniger can do that because defensively, he's not bad at all. In fact, in 2022, he actually had positive outfield defensive numbers in right field, and that's a really great sign. What that means for the Red Sox is that even if they want to play Mitch Haniger at DH most of the time, they will always have the opportunity and the ability at any point to say, hey, look, we want to give Christian Arroyo some more ABs. He's on a hot streak. Rob Refsnyder's hitting the ball really well. Let's get him into this lineup. Or hey, maybe Xander needs a day off his feet. Let's put him at DH, or Devers or Casas or whoever, right? They can do that because Mitch Haniger has the ability to play right field really well. And I think that's something the Red Sox are going to find super important. That idea that, hey, Mitch Haniger maybe 60-70% of the time plays DH, but that other 40-30%, we can move it around and see what we can do depending on matchups. And I think Cora loves that. I think the front office loves that. And I know I personally would really like that idea, especially with the injuries that happened in 2022. Now, there are some concerns with Mitch Haniger that I've kind of been alluding to this entire video, and that is his health. He's had a couple of seasons where he's had some pretty major injuries that have kept him off the field for a decent amount of time. Now, this may affect his free agent market in teams not really wanting to take the chance that maybe this isn't sort of a fluke thing. Maybe he isn't going to be able to remain healthy an entire season, and it's going to end up costing them money in the long run. As basically, Mitch Haniger's too big of a risk for some teams, and while that could help out the Red Sox, they need to be cautious as well. Maybe a shorter term deal might be the best move for Mitch Haniger, something where you're not putting a ton of years into. That way you don't have to be locked into a contract with a guy who may not be on the field 100% of the time. The other thing the Red Sox can do is what we just sort of talked about. Now, he hasn't played a ton of DH, Mitch Haniger, but he definitely can. And by putting him at DH more times than you're putting him on the field, you are limiting that health risk. So that could be something the Red Sox are factoring in too. At the end of the day, when you're talking about Mitch Haniger's health, there's going to be risk with almost every single potential DH the Red Sox could get this offseason. It's just how the market's shaped up. And to me personally, Mitch Haniger makes the most sense for this Red Sox lineup. I would love to see Mitch Haniger in a Red Sox uniform for a 3-4 year deal, something where you can get a decent amount of assurance that, hey, you've got a DH for a little bit until you need to start moving things around. I think this would be a perfect addition to this Red Sox team, but what do I know, right? I'm just a guy on YouTube, so you guys let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of Mitch Haniger? Are you all in like I am? Do you want him on this team? Are there things that are holding you back? Would you rather go with somebody else? Let me know what your thoughts on Mitch Haniger to the Boston Red Sox are down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like I said in the beginning, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Plus, you made it to the end here, you might as well hit that sub button. You also might as well hit that like button as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.